Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to another time here at the book club. It's opportunity, privilege to read a book, share from the learnings from it, and do life together using the book. We're here using the on the Good Life. It's a book we've been reading since July, first Sunday of July last year. So we're past 1 year on it already. And we finished the book last month, and we're presently just doing a summary through the book. And we'll do that here the whole of July and start on a new book first Sunday of August, God willing. It's our book here. It's our sixth book in our time together doing a book club here. And it's been a book talking about relationships. So this is a full take on the summary going through the book, which I've titled My Takeaway from the Book. So today we're pretty much going to summarize in chapter 6 and chapter 7 of the book. Chapter 6 of the book talks about facing the music of life, facing the challenges of life. And chapter 7 talks about the person beside you, the person you relate with, right? Mainly it's going to be your spouse, your significant other, and that can be used in every other relationship that we have in life. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my slide here, and we're going to go ahead and do this. All right, let's do. All righty. So as a 7th of July here, the book was written by Robert Waldinger and Marc Schulz, which have led the study center at the Harvard School, over periods of time. So this is a summary of a 85 plus years study at the Harvard Study Center, looking at adults human development and trying to look for what makes people to live long and live well. And the summary, the result of the study says that what makes people to live long and live well is having relationships in their lives, having the right quality and types of relationship in the different facets of their life. When you have the right relationships and you have it's a right quality relationship, it helps you to live long and well. It helps you to be happy, healthy, and you're able to live long, live well, enjoy life, as it were, get fulfilled out of life and then just passing or marking time, but you are enjoying every bit of it. You are living long and well. Long and well is not you have the length of life and the width of life as well, and I know that because I'm living it, right? I'm going to be 57 later on this year. I've lived some time of pilgrimage. I can tell that from my life experience. And if anyone who's sincere with him or herself will tell you that relationships make a difference in our lives. We're talking about something that's already happening in our lives. It's nothing strange to us, right? So let's go on. Looking at first part, chapter 6 says facing the music. It's pretty much talking about adapting to challenges in our relationship. That's what a lot of people miss it when it comes to relationship. It's not that they don't want to have relationship. It's because they stepped out and they were offended. They were disappointed. Life failed them. Life hurt them. And because of that, they've sworn not to do it again. They've sworn not to do it again. They forgot how they learned to walk. The first time the child stood up and tried to walk, the child fell down. What if that child has sworn, I will never walk again, I'll never try it again? That child will never walk. We're all walking today because we did not give up. We tried the first time, it did not work. We tried again, we tried again, we tried again, we tried again until we began to walk. Same thing about talking. The first time we tried to talk, we didn't have everything fluent and coherent. We said dada, mama, and we said different things, different foolish things. Then over time, we learned how to do it. One of the biggest limitations for me in learning languages is because I'm just too conscious of myself, right? I'm too conscious of myself. Someone I'm talking and it's not looking coherent, and I feel somehow, oh, it's not coherent, and I cannot hold back, because I grew up as a perfectionist, right? As a perfectionist, I want everything to be accurate. I've since given up on being a perfectionist. I'm what you call a recovering perfectionist today. That's why I'm able to make a lot of significant progress in my life. As a perfectionist, I didn't make much progress. I wasn't set up to succeed. You're not going to succeed in life as a perfectionist. If you want to succeed in life, you have to give up being a perfectionist and begin to live life as it is. I'm not saying you're going to now be someone that does things anyhow, not someone that doesn't shoot for excellence. Yes, excellence you shoot for, but you don't have to get it 100% before you take action. Right? The essence of planning is not to plan. The essence of planning is execution. If you do all your time and you have what we call analysis paralysis, right, you're not going to succeed in life. When you've done your best, it's time to move forward. When you've done your best, it's time to move forward. Your life should not be focused on what people would say. Your life should be going to make a difference for you, for your God, for your purpose, your intent, your reason for being here. And in doing that, you're going to be a blessing to other people. But you're not here to impress people. You are here to express yourself. You are here to dance your dance. You are here to walk your walk. You are here to be, 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 be. Find out who you are and be. People will catch up. Don't lower your life because people have not caught up with you. Yes. No. Just be you. People will catch up. They might not like you today. They will like you tomorrow. If you succeed, people will like you. Everybody likes success. Everybody likes the rich. Everybody likes money. Everybody likes things that are glowing. But you're not going to succeed unless you be. So don't hold yourself back because, hey, they don't like me. You will never succeed. And they will always hate you. But if you be yourself and succeed, everybody will like you. You will become the brother of everybody. Even the old men will call you brother or sir or daddy. They'll respect you. Right? We're not here to impress people. We're here to express the fullness of all that God has made us to be. We're here to please our Maker. We're here to live to the fullest measure of who we are. Not to impress people, but to express ourselves. Right? That and a perfectionist cannot do. Because a perfectionist is all about what will people say. Oh, all right. And at least what we call social anxiety. Oh, they might not like me. Oh, maybe I didn't carry my leg well that way. Yeah, that's going to limit you in life. You're not going to succeed that way, right? I used to be like that. So I'm telling you from experience, right? I used to be a shy person. People don't believe it, but that's where I used to be. And this is not who I used to be. This is who I've grown to be. This is not my starting position. I can do what I'm doing right now because I have practiced, I have trained myself to do it. It's not my base position. My base position will be, all right. Yeah, I didn't see it well. Oh, the background. Is it this? That's where I came from. I was limited. I wasn't succeeding at that point in time. I was smart, intelligent, but I wasn't succeeding. Right? For me to succeed where I am today, I'm proud of myself. I'm succeeding. I'm doing well. Right? It's because I had to redesign myself. I had to redesign myself. I had to drop the things, the weights that were limiting my life. Drop them off. Drop them off. I needed to fly. I needed to soar as an eagle. So I need to drop the weight. And so one of those weights is perfectionism. Drop it, drop it, drop it. It's not going to help you. Yes, shoot for excellence. Do your best to make it excellent. But after you've done your best, move on. After you've done the 80%, move on. You don't have to struggle on the remaining 20%. You can do that later. Execute. You will learn new things from execution. We don't plan to plan. We plan to execute. Execute. You learn from execution. Execution is part of planning. You learn. You see real life scenario. You learn. You recycle. Right? Your planning is a continual process. You do your best planning. You go hit the road. You see reality. You make adjustments. You keep on planning and executing. We don't plan to plan. We plan to execute. Right? Execution is a difference maker, not the planning. Right? So life has challenges, life has its troubles, and we're not here to practice how to live. We're here to live. There's no second chance in living. The result you get in this life is the result you get by living this life. It's not, oh, I live this life, so I'm gonna go and practice, go and execute what I've done here somewhere else. No, 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 no. This is the examination hall. This life is the examination hall, right? It's open book. This is an open book exam, right? The experience is an open book, right? It's an open book exam, but it is the exam. You are in the exam hall, right? You're not practicing to go and do an exam later. As you live every second, you are doing the exam of life, and life is calling you, whether you pass or fail, right? So rise up to life. There's a crack in everything, and that's how the light comes in, right? When you don't have to be perfect to succeed. The imperfect people succeed better than the perfect ones, right? I mean, I came out of school one of the best, but then I was at home for, well, I was at home for 2 years, right? 2 years, 2 years after graduation, after NYC, right? So after my NYC, so you have 1 year of NYC, 2 years after before I got my first job. Whereas people that I was better than in classroom could pay my salary at that point in time. Yes, I was intelligent, but I wasn't smart. Well, maybe I was smart, but I wasn't street smart. I wasn't street smart. That makes a difference. Life is not just about reading books. It's not just about knowing. It's about application of what you know. Your knowledge is useless if you cannot apply it. Your knowledge is useless if you cannot produce value in the marketplace. Right? And that for me was, was a difference maker. We all have cracks in us, no matter how perfect you look, no matter how perfect you try to be, you're still not perfect. It's inherent in us that we're human. Part of being human is imperfect. If you ever become perfect, you are dead. You're not fit for this life. Everyone that's living in this life has a coma. It's a broken vessel. You don't have to hide that, because your power is in that brokenness. Your power is in that brokenness. Your gifting is in that brokenness, not in that strength. Your power is in your brokenness. Your brokenness is what connects you to life, not your seeming perfection, right? So the beauty of life is in our brokenness, in our humanity. That's what makes us relate. That's what makes us human. That's what makes us connect with other people. That's what makes us excel in life. That's what draws others to us. You don't get drawn to someone that's a robot. You get drawn to someone that feeds something on the inside of you, someone that you feel is similar to you, right? You see a lot of people in leadership, and all they want to do is show that they are different, they are better, right? And you're not really necessarily blessing the people that you have seemingly pulling after you, right? Or pushing, or whatever word that is. Or the job of a leader is to show others that it is possible. A leader makes other leaders. A leader makes other leaders, right? A tyrant is just forcing people to follow. A tyrant makes more followers. A leader makes other leaders. You show them it's possible. You show them how you made it yourself, that you're no better than them. You did some things that made you who you are. If they do those same things, they can become just like you, right? So relationships are key, not only to navigating difficulties, right, big and small, but to flourishing in the face of them, right? In relationships, it helps us through life. I can do everything that I need to do, that makes my life my life. I need my wife to do some things. A lot of things I can do that my wife can do, and it's just the beauty of being married, that she can help me with those things. Our people that work for me, I have a farm, right? Flourishing farm, and our people that work for me, I can be at the farm, right? Because I have a full-time job and I have all the things that I do, but I pay people to work there, right? They work 6 days, 6 out of 7 days of a week, and they make the difference for me. I'm building greenhouses. I have someone that's doing that. Have bricklayer work, have carpentry work. We harvest, we sell, right? It's being able to get those people to work for me, but it's not just working for me, but working for me, with me with the right spirit, right? I have to evolve or stir up the right spirit in them because we're doing this not just for the sake of doing it, we're doing it to succeed, right? And my intention is that they also succeed as the company succeeds. As I succeed, as the company succeeds, I want everyone working for me to succeed also, because our motto, our driving spirit is to change people's life, right? Is to change people's life. We want everyone that comes to work for us not to be the same in every sense of the word, whether it be spiritually, whether it be psychologically, or whether it be physically. We want their life to change for the better, right? And everyone that's come to work for us can testify of that, right? That their life, they never leave the same. We'll pay good wages and increasing wages, and we'll take care of them to the best of our ability, right? But we're limited by what we make, right? But we're doing our best, and we're continuously improving and getting better at doing that. But what drives us is to change lives of the people that work for us, change life of the community where we work, change life of our customers also, people we sell to also, and we're preparing here to get some coppers to come work for us. They're not going to be treated like other poor coppers, right? They're going to be executive coppers because we want to get the best from them. We're going to give them the best also. By the time they leave us, they will speak good of us. They'll be the people that will sell us to other people. That's our driving motive is to change people's life by being desirous. We'll make ourselves desirable, right? We're not going to force ourselves on people, but we're going to create an environment where people would desire us, right? And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, and that comes from relating with people. We relate with everybody, you know. I treat those who work for me as if they're family. I don't treat them as people that I'm paid employment, right? I treat them as family. I treat them the same way I'll treat my siblings. Uh, I treat them the same way I treat my children. You know, Obviously there are different levels. My commitments are different, but in general relationship, right? I just treat them as family. Because I believe in relationship, and it's made the difference for me so far. There are issues, there are challenges that come along with doing that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that it's an easy thing to do, right? It's not an easy thing to do. But what drives me in life is not whether it's easy or not, is if it is possible. If it's possible, I'm willing to pay the price to make it work, if it's possible, right? I'm not a lazy person. I don't go for the easy things, right? I go for what is possible and is right. What is possible and is right, right? And that's what's made the difference for us, obviously. But like I said, it comes with its challenges. The same relationship that give you life will also kill you. Yeah, it has its challenges, and being good to people doesn't mean that they're going to be good to you back. We've had people leave, we'll buy new things, they stay 1 month, leave. Someone who paid about 30 something thousand naira to bring for Port Harcourt left, without telling us. They think it's going to get better elsewhere. I mean, that's life. That's life. We're going to let it be. You're going to be stupid if you try to um, force yourself on people or try to stand against what is natural, right? Jesus Christ had over 12 disciples, still had one Satan, and the Judas there, right? No matter how good you are to people, doesn't mean they're going to be good to you. Doesn't mean they're going to appreciate it. Doesn't mean they're going to see things the way you see it. So we have people that leave for whatever reason they leave. We're not going to stop that. We're not going to force people to work with us. We need people with we need a certain type of people to work for us. Not everybody. Not everybody can work for us because we have our own standards also. We had a young man, who came to work for us, hardworking, everything. He left. He found it difficult wherever he went to. He came back, we took him. Now he stayed again for whatever reason, he's left again, but we're not going to take him back again. He's probably going to want to come back, right? Because we are a good company, because we love those who work for us. We're people that are desirable. That's our motive. That's our driving force. That's our modus operandi, right? But we also have a standard, right? Uh, we also have a standard, and we're also we're also realistic as to what life is. We know no matter how good we are, it doesn't mean that we can keep people, because people are going to leave for whatever reason. You're only going to have hurt yourself if you try to walk against nature. You're right. I see some churches that try to guide everything so that they won't form another church for me. But 1,001 churches are formed in the midst of all that stupidity of trying to guide. But they have limited their own growth, because in trying to be too conscious to stop other people starting ministries from them, they have not done things they should do for they themselves to grow. Too conscious of what might happen, they are not growing because they're not doing the things they need to do to grow, right? Anything done out of fear will not prosper you. Fear is not a tool in the armory of God. It's not a tool in the toolbox of God. It's not a weapon in the armory of God. Fear is not. Faith is. Fear is not. Faith is. Fear is not. Love is. Anything you do out of fear, you are going to come short. You do things out of faith. You do things out of love. I'm not saying you be stupid, but you do things out of faith. You do things out of love. You're also going to be wise in doing that, right? But not out of fear. Fear is not a tool in the toolbox of a winner, of a champion. Fear is not a weapon in the armory of a winner, of a champion. You use fear. You don't let fear use you, right? You don't let fear be your driving force. The people with poverty mentality, and they're always scared they might lose the money, right? So they begin to do stupid things, steal more money. They shortcut people, they underpay people, they hold people money, right? Fear is going to drive you to hell. Fear is not going to give you peace of mind. Fear is not a tool in the toolbox of God. Fear is not a weapon in the armory of God. Fear is not a tool in the toolbox of a winner, of a champion. Fear is not a weapon in the armory of a winner, of a champion. Faith is, love is the vision of what you want, not the vision of what you don't want, that would help you. Right? If you want to succeed in life, you must have a vision of what you want, not the vision of what you don't want. If the vision of what you don't want is what's driving you, fear is your master. If the vision of what you want is what is driving you, faith and love is your master. One will give you heart attack. The other one will make you live well and long. Right? So, yeah, you're going to have issues in life, but don't let those issues drive you. Let what you want drive you. Let the vision of a place called there drive you. Right? That would help you. That will help you live long. That will help you be fulfilled in life. Right? Our mastery of life is in our ability to enjoy life in the midst of all the troubles of life, in the midst of all the ups and downs of life. Our mastery in life is our ability to enjoy life, right? I once had a friend of mine I was chasing after, someone I loved, someone I wanted to marry, and all my time of proposing as a child I was, this years ago, right? And she was saying no. And on top of that, I once caught her reading a book which says how to say no. You think that encouraged me to propose more? No, it didn't. I did love her. I believe that's what God wanted, but whatever it is that was the fear in our life kind of had the better part of her. This is this is 27 years after, and I know she did not do the right thing. She's still my friend today. I know she did not do the right thing. She had a fear in her life that had mastery over her. Don't let fear have mastery over you. Don't let what you don't want drive your life. Let what you want drive your life. Do the extra work. Yes, there are issues in your life. There are things you don't want. Oh, this happened to my mother. This happened to my father. Oh, this happened to my relation. Oh, this or that. But don't let that be the driving force in your life. Do the extra work. What do you want in your life? Yes, you know what people don't have and what you should not have. Ask yourself, what do you want? What is your vision of the place out there? What are you living your life towards? It's not about what you are running from. It's about what you are running to. What you are running from, will only cause you to not to succeed, to fail, to be a failure in life. What you are running to is what energizes you to succeed. You must have a vision of what you are running to. That is what drives you to succeed. That's what makes you wake up in the morning and go to bed late at night. What you are driving towards, not what you are running from. It's not the hell that you're running from that should drive you. It will drive you crazy. You will not be fulfilled. You'll have hypertension. You'll die early. It's the heaven you are running to that should be your driving force. That's what will make you live long and well. Long and well. What's your heaven? Temporal and spiritual. What's your heaven? Temporal and spiritual. What's your vision of success? What's your vision of success? What's your vision of fulfillment? That should be the driving force in your life. Anything less, you are not doing well. So life has its problems, its challenges. How is it to have a mastery of it in spite of all its troubles? I once had someone that works for me and all he focuses on is a problem. I said, let's do this. Oh, it can't work. Hey, this, hey, hey, hey. Life has its problems. Being focused on the problems of life will not help you. I see people on social media. Oh, Buhari is this. Tinubu is that. The company is bad. Hey, yeah, higher, higher. How has that helped your life? You are on a message, errand that the devil has sent you. This devil has you on speed dial. If all you do is report what is bad, that will not help your life. That will only drive you crazy and make you poorer. What you should be asking yourself is, what do I want out of this? In spite of the troubles around, what is it that I'm gaining for? What is going for? What is my life about? In spite of all the troubles, what are the solutions? Everybody knows the troubles. A trouble of life is a common thing. What people don't understand is, irrespective of who wins an election, there will always be trouble. Trouble is part of living, it's part of being alive. There will be trouble. If there's no trouble in this area, there'll be trouble in that area. One way or the other, there'll be trouble, there'll be challenges of life. Those are not strange. Troubles will not make a difference in a man's life. A man that focuses on those troubles only becomes poorer and dies early. What we need to focus on to succeed in life is, what are the solutions? It's the solutions that differentiates people. It's the solutions to the troubles around that differentiates between boys and men, women and girls, rich and poor. In all the troubles here, I can see the opportunities. I'm a farmer. So no matter how much things go expensive, guess what? I'm selling. I'm making money. I'm farming. I'm selling. People are going to eat. Prices are going up. Guess who's making the money? Those of us that are selling, right? In the midst of everything that's going on, new supermarkets are opening every day. Guess what? Some people are supplying those supermarkets. I am one of them. In the midst of your complaint that there's no money, days, people are becoming millionaires, billionaires every day. I am one of them. You can be also. There are opportunities all around, but the devil has you on speed dial. All you see is the trouble. In the trouble, there's opportunity. Open your eyes to see the solutions. Open your eyes to see the opportunities and chase after the opportunities, not the problems. Winning in life is mastery. And it's not mastery in the problem, it's mastery in the solutions. So we lean into life. We don't avoid life. Life with all these problems, we lean into it. I'm having relationship problem. I learn how to handle it, not to run away from it. Fear will do me in. Faith will elevate me. In the midst of all the problems of life, I lean in to win. I don't run away from it, because what I run away from today, I will always run from. What I face today, I don't have to face anymore. I conquer what I face today and I move on to higher things. But what I run from will always chase me all my life. Right? So we lean into life. We don't avoid life. We lean in and face the challenges of life. Because the Goliath I kill today, I don't have to face tomorrow. The Goliath I run away from today, I have to live another day to face it. And until I deal with it, it will always have a mastery over my life. Right? You can't stop the waves. You can't stop the troubles of life. But you can learn how to solve. You can learn how to solve them. Whatever challenge you have in your life, right? You probably can't stop it. You can't stop the rain from falling. You can't stop the sun from shining. You can't stop whoever ruling wherever you are. But you can learn to have mastery over it. You can learn to find solutions to the problems, the challenges that are facing you. And you can learn to win. Life is not about stopping the stream. It's not about stopping the sea. It's about learning to live above it. It's about learning to use it for your own purpose. Use the challenge, use the trouble of life for your own hand. You determine your hand and use what you have. One of the things you have is a challenge in front of you. It's a trouble in front of you. You can use it. You are meant to use it. He did not come to kill you. He did not come to conquer you. He came to elevate you. Use it. Use it. Use it. Someone has laid you off work. It's probably an opportunity for you to go do your own. Don't cry because of a door that has been closed. Cry for the opportunity that has been opened to you. And when I say cry, then it's cry of joy. Take it up. Take it up. Take it up. It's not about stopping the rain. It's about dancing in the rain. Life is what it is. You be what you are, right? In an hour, an issue of life, you're free to think or evade that effort. When things happen in life, people want to do a quick one. They just want to judge the occasion. That's not the way to win in life. The way to win in life is sit back and ask, what does this mean? How can I use this that has happened here? We're given this for a reason. It's not because that place could not be left empty. It's because we needed it. We needed what is here. We needed to win. That's what differentiates us from animals. They don't have the intelligence that we have. We're given this intelligence to win. It's our leverage position here. And it's meant to be used. It's meant to be used. Let's use our thinking ability. Let's use our intelligence. Let's use our brain. Let's use our mind. That's what's going to make a difference here for us, whether we win or lose. We've been given to use it to win. Don't waste it. right? Anything that every moment we need to think about a solution, think about how to win in that environment. Say, we're not free to escape from nature, from the fact, the reason, right? From the fact that that reason is a means of survival, right? The question to be or not to be is a question to think or not to think. Rene Descartes would say, I think, therefore I am, right? My thinking makes me me. My thinking makes me me. I used to be in a place where they used to speak at the end of affairs about people who think they expect everybody to be dummies, just to whatever they say, just follow them. It's a group thing. That's of the devil. That's of the devil. If you go to a place where everybody's doing the exact same thing, they are not going to heaven. For sure, I can tell you it's a cult. Everybody's cutting their hair the same way, dressed the same way. They're a cult, right? God gave us a mind to be able to think, not to copy. Anyone that's trying to force you into a particular mode to be like him or her doesn't like you, right? We're here to be individuals. Yes, there's a corporateness, right? But that corporateness does not take away your individuality. Your strength is in your individuality. We're all graced differently, right? We're all graced differently. And when you need to use the grace of God upon your life, not try to be someone else. I used to be in the place where the person will try to say, hey, they wanted you to be just like them because they believe that they are the best thing since sliced bread. But they're just human. They're just human. They're nobody except the position they are taking that God has privileged them at that point in time. But they have seen themselves bigger than life. So they want to create every other person in their own image. They have put themselves in the place of God. So they want to create every other person in their own image. Because they are stupid, they are foolish, they don't understand life, they don't understand God. They want to create every other person in their own image. Right? We're all created in the image of God. God. God is our standard, not man. When man is trying to create you in his own image, he's trying to usurp the place of God and is trying to limit your destiny. He's trying to kill your destiny. He's trying to make you a robot. He's trying to make you a slave, a servant. He's trying to limit you. He's trying to imprison you. We're created in the image and likeness of God. God is our standard. None of us individually can exhibit everything that is God. So God has put a piece of himself in every single one. We all, in one way or the other, exhibit an attribute of God, an attribute of God, an attribute of God, right? So we are created in the image and likeness of God. That should be our driver. That should be our place called there. That's what we should press towards, not that of man, right? So we need to think in every situation and decide what is best. We don't have to do what every other person is doing. We don't have to do what anybody at all tells us to do. What anybody tells us to do, we need to think it over for our own self and decide if what this person is telling me to do is good for me or not. Because you will never have an excuse to say, I did it because so and so said. That's not going to happen. Life is not going to give you that free ticket. Life will judge you for what you do. You will never have an excuse. So before you do, think about it. Is this the right decision? Can I stand the consequence of my decision, of my action? That's what Jesus Christ was talking about when he said that you should turn the other cheek. He says, when someone slaps you, don't just slap back, turn the other cheek. What he's saying is that even though someone has done something bad to you, you cannot use that as a get out of jail ticket. You cannot say, I slapped him because he slapped me. That will not hold even in the human law court. If someone slaps you and you slap the person back and that person dies, the law will not free you. That's not self-defense. That is manslaughter. You just killed somebody. You will not be that the excuse that person slapped you will not hold in court. What will hold in court is that you slap somebody and you kill that person. Same way God sees it. Whatever you do or not do should not be because someone said. It's because I thought about it and I see that what someone said is correct for me. I have thought it through and I take responsibility for my action. I take responsibility for my action. Therefore, I wholeheartedly accept the consequence of my action. Right? So there are many difficulties that might stem from relationship, right? Well, this is now going on in the book, talking about problems that we have from relationship that stem from who we are, right? Whatever we do at every point in time of our life is because of where we're coming from, right? None of us does things independently, as it were. Every point in time, the records of the things that have happened to us before that point in time, like this point in time, who we are is a function of the way we interpreted the things that have happened in our lives. And because of those things, we have formed habits. Those habits are our first result when we need to make a decision, right? Like I spoke of, my friend who was reading the book, How to Say No. How did she get to that point? She probably seen someone, in our family circle who had said yes to somebody and the relationship didn't turn out right. So she had fears in her life. Maybe she had seen something between her father and her mother that produced fears in her life. So it's not those things that happened, but it's the way she interpreted it. Because someone else could have seen those same things and interpreted it differently, right? I was the one amongst other people that probably proposed it, and I know myself, right? I'm the one saying this. I had pure emotions, I had pure love, and I meant well, right? And this is 27 years after, so I can tell you that. And we're still friends today, so I say this with a bit of knowledge, right? I think she did it. She didn't do the right thing. I think she allowed that fear, have the best of her, you know. Uh, but we don't have to allow our history to have the best of us, right? Whatever has happened in our past, in our life, we need to interpret it in a way that empowers us. Again, don't forget, I said, you don't avoid life. You lean into life. You face life. What you face today, you conquer, right? What you run away from, you live to always run away from it, right? What you face to get today, you become a master of. What you run away from, you live to be a servant at the mercy, at the beacon of that. It's going to chase you all your life. It's going to hit you when you least expect. It's best to wake up a sleeping dog and address it when you're conscious than to be taken off guard in your unconsciousness and to be beaten, when you are not expecting it, right? But we need to be careful about old habits, old records in us, because they formed different, they pushed us, they bent us in a particular way. But that's why we need to think about our action, right? When you see something at first, there's an unconscious bias that wants to push you in one direction or the other, but you have to be careful not to always allow your unconscious bias up the day. You need to think about it. Why do I feel this way? Why am I wanting to do this instead of that? You need to question, those unconscious bias, because they might be wrong. They're not necessarily always correct. An example that comes to mind for me, is there used to be a smell that each time I smell this, I feel something. And I believe it's due to something that happened to me when I was 5 years old, right? When I was 5 years old, I perceived a particular smell that was associated with a bit of some promiscuity, right? So all my life, each time I smell that, that that was a record somewhere, that always comes up. And I had a pleasant surprise. One time I was in Houston and there was this lady from Trinidad and Tobago. And that kind of smell came again, but it wasn't associated with what my mind had always associated it with, you know. And that was a turning point for me. That was an awakening to think, rather than to think about it, and to respond in a better way than I had been doing before that time, But we all have stored memory, hurts, pleasures of the past, that could potentially make us go, take us in a particular direction that might not necessarily be the right direction. So when we see ourselves given to do things one way or the other, we might need to think again and ask the question, why am I like this? And is this working for me or against me? Is this having mastery over me, or do I have master over it? You know, uh, Another thing the psychologists they call it coping styles, right? As we grow up, we've learned to do things in particular ways that are easy for us. When I see this, I do this, due to different things that have happened in our lives. It could be that this always worked for me. They've hurt me this way, so this is my defense mechanism. Different things habits we've come across, maybe due to the way people have hurt us. Uh, my wife does some things, and I think she's seen her father in me. Things probably in her mind. She's always talked about men, and you know, and I feel she should be, but whatever. We all have things we've learned, we've carried over, from our past, and somehow is the easy way to do life. But the question is it helping us? Is it helping us? I know a couple that went through divorce, after 25 years of marriage. And it was partly because of a hurt, in one's life. And the person had set the mind that this is the way life would be. And life is not like that. We're human, meaning that we can think. We're not robots. Robots can be programmed to go in a particular way. Humans, we can reprogram. Yes, I programmed to do this, but if things change, or if this program is not working for me, I can reprogram it. I don't have to always be this, right? This is one of the things I learned. I try to do exercise, and as I try to make my exercise, I try to deceive my mind to make my mind think when I'm exercising, I'm having fun. But the process of doing that, I could also be I could also be doing the exercise in such a way that my mind is not there. And I found that was not working for me. So I had to bring my mind back there. Yes, I'm trying to achieve something, make exercise pleasurable. But in doing that, as I program myself doing it and my body is doing it, my being absent in the moment of exercise wasn't helping me. So I had to intentionally bring my mind into that moment of programming, right? Be a part of the programming. Find a way that the programming can work with my mind still being present in the moment. That was important for me to, it was important for me there it was important for me. I felt that I had a sense of mastery in doing that, so I had to bring my mind back to it. I'm just saying that we have different coping styles, but it's up to us if it's not working for us, we can change it. We should not let our coping styles become a master over our life. If something is not working for you, change it. You can change it. You are not a slave of your programming. Your programming is your slave, is a tool in your toolbox, is a weapon in your armory. If it's not working for you, change it because you can. It might not necessarily be easy, but easy is not the way of life. It's possible. So make the effort to have styles, to have programs, to have habits, to have ways of doing things that are working for you. And you can always get better. Right. So habitual responses, pattern of both thinking and behaving, right? They arise when stressful events occur, you know. So those events have been occurred in our past and we've had ways of dealing with them. It is often easier to turn away than it is to confront what troubles us. But when you run away from what troubles you, you remain a slave for life. You know, one of the things that came up in chapter 6 is what the authors prescribed a 5-step method for dealing with troubles in life. This was good for me, you know, when I went through my troubles in 2016 after coming back to work locally. I wish I had gone through the steps. It would probably have helped me and made a difference for me. It's just talking about when you're having issues in your life, challenges in your life. First thing is not to rush and to address it. Sit back, watch, understand what is taking place. I didn't do that in 2016. I came back and I felt I was back home working with friends, people that understood me, and I understood. But that wasn't what I was coming to. I was coming into a place where you had a devil who wanted to subjugate other people, someone who has given his heart and soul to the devil, right? Who wanted to subjugate other people. You know, I was thinking he was human, but it wasn't. It was a devil, right? And I didn't understand what was at play. So I was just innocently, freely being myself. But the more I was myself, the more I was irritating this person. This person felt he needed to clip my wings and bring me under him. He wanted to fit me into his small box. I'm too big for anybody's small box, right? But what we should do when we're going through circumstances of life is to sit back, take 2 steps back and watch, understand what is at play, right? Don't just rush into intervention, understand what is at play. Another way we say that is step out of the frame. For as long as you're in the frame, you can't see the whole picture. You have to step out of the frame, step out of the frame, leave the emotions, leave the emotions behind, come out of the frame, look at, have a more strategic view of what's going on, what's really at play here, right? What are the different people involved? What are you trying to get? Who are those playing the chess game? Where's the chessboard? Who are the pawns? Who is the knight? You know, who's the rook? Who's the bishop? Who is the queen? Who is the king? What's the move that's been played? Because sometimes if you don't understand that, you might be aggravating the situation, right? Life is a game, and it's a game to be played, right? I used to think that I could live life, you know, not play politics. Yes, not play politics in terms of I don't deceive people. What you see is what you get, right? I'm an open book, but I've learned that that book should not be too open, right? Because not everybody deserves the too open book. I'm not going to change from being what you see is what you get. But I've learned also to keep some pages away from or some people because they don't deserve it. Right. So life is about understanding the people you're dealing with and robbing them the way they need to be robbed. Right. It's a modification to the golden rule. The golden rule is do unto others as you would love them to do to you. Great. But sometimes those others are not you. Right? You cannot treat a woman the way you want people to treat a man. You have to treat a woman like a woman, right? You can't treat a man the way you want. You can't treat a man the way you want others to treat her. You can't treat a woman the way you want men to be treated. You to be treated as a man. You treat a woman like a woman. You treat a man like a man, right? It's called a diamond rule, right? They go together, right? When we're talking about the golden rule, you're talking about the humanity of the person. When it comes to humanity, we're all the same. We feel the same. We cut the same. We bleed the same. But when you step away past humanity, we have things that differentiate us, right? Those different things in terms of a man and a woman are not the same. The kind of hormones that flow in the woman is much more than it flows in the man. Therefore the challenges those hormones bring are different. The challenge, we don't have as much hormones flowing into us in us like the woman has. We don't go through cycles, menstrual cycles like they do. That affects them. So when you're treating them, you're working with them, you need to respect that, right? So there is the golden rule, there is the diamond rule, and that is important when you're dealing with people. It's not about, it's politics. It's called emotional intelligence, and it's important. You can't do without it. Your success in life is dependent on your ability to relate and work with people. If you're not emotional intelligent, you will not go far in life. It's not a course, it's reality. You need to learn emotional intelligence. You need to learn to rub people the way they need to be rubbed. Otherwise, you will not get the best out of them. So you watch the situation. After you watch the situation, the next thing is it's called the wiser model, right? So the W is watch, understand what's at play. High that follows is interpret. What you are seeing, what is interpretation? What's really going on? Because don't forget, it's not what you see that is important. It's not what you're looking at that's important. It's what you see. Two people can look at the same thing and see entirely different things. It's a function of the way it is interpreted. Don't forget about that man, those two kids that had the same father, a drunken father. One became a drunkard, one became a well-to-do person. Have the same example. They had the same watch, but they interpreted it differently. The one that became a drunkard said, I can't become better. I see I'm a son of that drunkard. The one that became a good man, respectable man, said, look at what my father did. So I can't be like my father. They saw the same thing. They looked at the same thing, but they saw two different things. And their lives were affected in two different ways, right? So you watch, you interpret. You interpret in a way that empowers you, not a way that you become a slave to what you are watching, right? The S, therefore, the S there is, let me remember, is select, right? You make your selection as to what do you do, right? You interpret, you determine, as it were. Select there also is a plan. You have your plan of engagement, right? You select how do you want to engage, how do you want to relate, how do you want to play the game, right? You watch, you interpret. By interpretation, you understand, you have a game plan. Then either is you engage, you execute whatever plan you have decided, how you think is best for you to interfere with what is going on, to relate to what is going on. And the R there is to reflect, is to check, all right, my engagement, what result did it produce? What did I gain? What did I lose? Then you can learn from that to be able to use when such a thing happens next time, or to make the situation better than it presently is at that point in time. It's called the wiser model, and I love it. I wish I knew it earlier than 2016, but all things work together for good, right? It's to watch, interpret, select, engage, reflect, right? So that was the end, really, of chapter 6. So the next few slides there will be chapter 7, and it's the person beside you. How intimate relationships shape our lives. That's what chapter 7 was. It says to be alive is to be vulnerable. To be alive is to be vulnerable. To be vulnerable is to be alive. To be invulnerable is to be dead. And you have a lot of dead men walking. You have a lot of dead men walking, people that are already dead. It's just for them to get to be put into coffins, right? If you're not vulnerable, you cannot change, you cannot adjust. You are set in your ways, you are dead. To be alive is to be vulnerable, is to be touched by life, is to respond to life. If you're not vulnerable, you cannot love. You cannot have a healthy relationship with another human being. So if you want to love, if you want to live, you have to be vulnerable. And to what extent you are vulnerable will determine how intimate you can be in any relationship. If you're not vulnerable, and to what extent you're vulnerable determines the intimacy or the connectedness you can have with other people, right? So love is a name of the pursuit of wholeness. So Plato was telling us that love is about pursuing wholeness. You know, that we, as it were, God created whole people, then divided them and put what completes us in other people. And that's true, even though it's a bit mythical, but the real essence of the story is true. You are not complete in yourself. Our completeness is found in other people. We're here to be a blessing to someone else. Just being a blessing to yourself will not fulfill you. The essence of every organism is found outside of that organism, not within that organism. In love, we become fulfilled. In loving other people, we get our fulfillment. In relating with other people, we get our fulfillment. Yes, there's a height of it when I marry my spouse. So in my spouse, we use that word my better half or whatever. But just talking about that, I find completeness, I find wholeness in relating with my spouse. There is that in that sense, but that there's still also will find completeness in other people, but it's not sexually, it's just the psychological part, right? There is a contract we have with our spouse, so we can go into some things, but we'll still find that completeness in other people, but we don't necessarily go to the eros part. You know, part of this, we talked about different kinds of love. You know, we talk about the agape love, the filial love, the eros love, romantic love, platonic love, you know, so the different kinds of love. So when we're talking about completeness here, we're talking first about the agape love and the filial love. Because with the filial love, it's a liking. There's something in that person that I like. Doesn't mean I have to have eros for that person, right? I need a contract, an agreement, an arrangement to how to go into eros. I might feel it. Doesn't mean I have to consummate it, right? So love is the name of the pursuit. Plato would put it also go on and say, love is born into every human being. He calls back the halves of our original nature together. It tries to make us one out of two and heal the wound of human nature. Just talking about the drive to love somebody. You know, being vulnerability is a choice, it's a human choice, but it's a choice for life. Right? It's a choice for life. A lot of people say he's lonely at the top. No, it's not. It's only lonely because you're not vulnerable, because you have not learned the heart of living, right? It's not lonely at the top. It's you have made yourself lonely. Being progress in life doesn't make you lonely. It's a choice. You made a choice not to be vulnerable, right? If you are vulnerable, you will not be lonely at the top. You'll be able to relate freely with other people. If you know who you are, you don't have to be scared of being disrespected. You know, like Margaret Thatcher would say, if a lady has to tell you she's a lady, then she's not a lady. If a gentleman has to tell you he's a gentleman, he's not a gentleman. If a leader has to tell you he's a leader, he's not a leader. Because who you are will exude the respect that people will give to you, right? You cannot love and be loved unless you choose to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is a door that opens the flow of love from one person to the other. If both of them are closed, love cannot flow. Love cannot flow. For love to flow, they have to be open. Now, how open they are will determine the level of intimacy of that relationship. But there has to be an opening. And sometimes it's a little opening. As trust is built, you can open more. Trust is built, you can open more. Trust is built, you can open more. Obviously, the opening more, there are risks involved. So you need to protect yourself also, right? But you cannot be closed. If you're closed, you cannot relate. You're not alive. You're going to be lonely. And loneliness is dangerous. It's detrimental to your health, spiritually, psychologically, and physically, right? The only true gift is a portion of yourself. And you give a portion of yourself by being vulnerable, right? What makes you vulnerable makes you beautiful, right? The way we show our beauty is in our vulnerability. It's our stepping out to be a blessing, stepping out to connect, right? So without attention, no relationship, no matter how strong, can survive, right? We need to give attention to our relationships. We need to step out, to be a blessing, step out to love. James Baldwin puts it this way, said, love takes off the mask that we fear we cannot live without, and no, we cannot live within, right? Love helps us to be vulnerable. Albert W. Armstrong puts it this way, he said, love is unselfish. It is not an emotion, though it may be expressed with an emotional content. Love is not an emotion, though it can be expressed with an emotional content. Love is basically unselfish. True love combines the rational aspect of outgoing concern. If you love, you are concerned about the person. Love, you're concerned about the person, not necessarily the emotion. You are concerned about the person. The desire to help the person, to serve the person, to give to the person, to share with the person. You combine that with a sincere, concerned, affectionate feeling, right? Is the feeling and the desire to help, to be a blessing. What we say about what an healthy relationship is where two or more people come together because of what they can give, not what they can get. What they can give, not what they can get. Even though what keeps them together is what they get, not what they give. We call it the paradox of relationship, and it is true, right? So we then spoke about what emotions are, right? The American Psychological Association defines emotion as the conscious mental reaction. Emotion is a conscious mental reaction. It's not an action. Emotions are not actions. Emotions are reaction. They are reacting to something, right? They are reacting to something. They are not action. They are reacting to something. You have emotions because something has happened. Something is triggering that emotion, right? Emotions are conscious. You are conscious of them. They are not unconscious. You know when you have emotions, right? You feel somehow, but you are reacting to something, right? So they are subjectively experienced, though there's a reason for feeling them. They're not necessarily justifying. They don't tell you the fullness, right? You can feel joy for something you're not supposed to feel joy for, right? Something inside your subconsciousness is triggering that, and you need to understand and take control of that, right? Every time you see a woman, you feel somehow, right? Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it objective. Something about your physique is making that reaction be. You must not be at the mercy of that. The emotions happen, but you need to take control, them, hold them captive. If you don't hold your emotions captive, they will run riot on you and they will destroy your life, right? They are subjective, right? Experience. That there's a strong feeling, usually directed towards a specific object, and typically accompanied by psychological and behavioral changes in the body. Key thing, emotions are subjective. They are supposed to be used, not use you. If you don't take your emotions captive and use them, they will destroy you. They will destroy you, right? Because emotions really makes no sense. You give the sense to your emotion. You give the sense to your emotion. Just like what we used to say about athletes. You want to do something, you start having butterflies in your stomach. You can determine what those butterflies mean. You can determine whether those butterflies means I'm ready to go and win, or hey, I'm scared of something bad can happen. Whatever you define those emotions as will be true for you. If you determine, if you interpret them as emotions to go win, it will work for you. If you determine them as emotions to go lose, it will work for you. Because emotions themselves have no direction. It's a direction you give to them that they take. If I'm feeling some after a woman, and I determine that, oh, it's the reason why I should chase after that woman, it will work for you. If I'm saying, oh, that's calling me to action that, hey, be careful, though, this is not your wife, so don't do it, it will work for you. Emotions themselves they're just reacting. Something your subconsciousness is saying something is around, though, but the direction they take or they should take is determined by you. You must hold your emotions captive, right? Our emotions need to be educated as our intellect, says Jim Rohn. Our emotions need to be educated. We need to educate our emotions, not let them run riot on us, right? It says our emotions need to be educated as our intellect. It is important to know how to feel, how to respond, and how to let life in so that it can touch us. We determine how life touches us, right? We determine what we want to cry over. We determine what we want to laugh over. We determine what we want to be happy concerning, right? Otherwise, if we allow it the other way, it will destroy us, right? So we need to hold our emotions captive and use it. Don't let it use us. In chapter 7, we spoke about the 5 love languages also. The words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, receiving gifts. Just know what works for you, and that will help you understand why you feel what you feel. Know what works for your spouse. That will help you understand how best, to be a blessing to your spouse. Know how it affects your friends, or your significant others. That just helps you in relating. You use it as a way of blessing them, increasing them. It helps you to know how to rub them the way they need to be rubbed, the diamond rule. Rub them the way they need to be rubbed, the diamond rule, right? Touch their humanity, they need to be touched, because you want your own humanity to be touched also, the golden rule, right? And our penultimate last slide here, it says the ability for partners to trust and be vulnerable with each other, to pause, notice their spouse, their partner's emotions, and comfortably share their fears is one of the most important, most powerful relationship skills that a couple can cultivate, right? The ability to notice your spouse, notice what moves your spouse, what makes your spouse to open up, what makes your spouse to draw near to you, what makes her to stay away from you, and staying away from the things that keep her away, and building the things that bring her close. That will help your family. That will help your relationship. It's not about you. It's about the relationship. It's about your better half also. There are 3 people in every relationship, right? There's you, there's you, there's me, and there's we. And there must be space for all 3. For any relationship to work, you must respect all 3. Me, I need my space and the boundaries. You need your space and the boundaries. We need our space and our boundaries. You need to respect all 3. Give them what they need, feed them. If you don't feed any of them, your relationship will not work, right? Just as trees need water, intimate relationships are living things also. And as the seasons of life pass, they can't be left to fend for themselves. They need attention and nourishment. Nourish your relationship, nourish your marriage, nourish your partnership, nourish your friendship, and it will only get better, right? Love is an action, not a feeling. Love is a choice. In fact, love is a commandment. Let's love one another. Let's love our significant others. Let's love other people. Love your neighbor. just as you love God Almighty. Let's learn to love. Love we can learn to love. It's not just something we catch, it's something we learn, we practice, and we become better at it. Become better loving our spouse, we become better loving our children, become better loving our parents, become better loving our siblings. We become better loving our colleagues at work, become better loving our neighbors. Become better loving people in different club association we find ourselves. We learn to give, to be a blessing. And when we give a blessing, we're saving into our emotional bank account with others. Sometime very soon, we're going to need to make withdrawals. And those withdrawals will be readily available to us, even if we have something already saved up. God bless you. I hope this blessed you. I hope you took something from me. But thank you. Thank you. Thank you for spending this time with me. Thank you, Garuba, for coming along. Hoping this blessed you. Feel free to ask me any question, anything I said that you probably don't understand or you want to learn more about or you want to add more to, till we'll come back next Sunday, have a great week ahead. Maybe a productive week for you. May you win this week. God bless you. Next week, we're going to come back and do chapter 8 and chapter 9 of the book. Those will be the penultimate last chapter. There are just 10 chapters in the book. So we'll do 8 and 9 next week. And the following week, we'll do 10 and close it all up. All right. God bless you. See you again next week. Bye-bye.